Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start, bacho. This is June 2020, paper 5. This is your probability and statistics. Okay, so here is your first question. It says find for n values of variable x, it is given that sum of x minus 50, that is equal to 144, and sigma x, that is going to be 944. So we have to find the value of n. So please give it a try quickly, and then I'll be doing this for you. Okay, this is a question basically from the coded data. So you have the sum of the coded data here, that is sigma x minus 50. You can call this as sigma d as well, that is 144, where your d is going to be, it is normally x minus a, and right now this is x minus 50. This is x minus 50. Okay, and you need to recall two things, that if you have d equal to x minus a, then the sum of these deviations, or the sum of the mean of the coded data, is equal to the mean, actual mean minus a. So this thing is maintained throughout. Okay, and one more thing about their standard deviations, that they have the same standard deviations, be it the original data or the coded data. Okay, so we are not given this n, we have to find that. Sigma d is 144, sigma x is 944. So we can use this relation over here. Okay, so the mean of this coded data would be sigma d over n, that is 144 over n, and that is going to be equal to this sigma x, which is 944 over n, and then minus 50. Okay, now let's multiply the whole of this equation by n. You get 144 equal to 944 minus 50n. So your 50n is going to be equal to 800, and your n is going to be 60. Okay? Okay, question number 2. A total of 500 students. A total of 500 students. So this is the total. Asks for which college they study and which game they prefer. The number of students is shown in the table here. It says find the probability that a randomly chosen student is at Canton College and prefers hockey. So here is the Canton College, here is the hockey. So this is going to be 56 over 500, and you can simplify this. Okay? So this was a simple question on probability. Next it says find the probability that a randomly chosen student is at Dever College given that he prefers soccer. So we have to find the probability that the student is at the Dever College given that he prefers soccer. So there is, one Desi method. You can do it through that. You can highlight the soccer people, okay, because it is given that he plays soccer. So out of these, how many are from the Dever? Okay, so this is going to be, this is directly 120 over 280. But if you want to do that through the formula, that is the probability D given S, that is going to be probability of D and S over the probability of S. So D and S is going to be 120 over 500. Okay? And then probability of the soccer, that is 280 over 500. And eventually you get the same answer as was this. That is 120 over, and you can simplify this. Okay? Next it says, one of the student is chosen at random. Determine whether the student prefers the hockey. So hockey is one event. And the student is at Amherst College or Ben College. So this is A union B. At A or B. If these events are independent, justify your answer. Okay, so you just give it a thought, and then I'll be doing this for you. Chale, soche how to do this. Remember, if there are two events, for example, there are two events X and Y, And if they're even, if they're independent, then the probability of X and Y should be equal to probability of X times probability of Y. So yeah. So basically you need to find out that what is the probability of H, and that is 220 over 500. What is the probability of A union B? That is going to be, can please someone add these two for me? What is 86 plus 156? Okay, 242 over 500. Now, what is the probability of H and A union B? So these are the people which are H and A union B. That is 104 over 500. Did I add them correctly? Now you make a check that if probability of H times the probability of A union B, if that is really equal to the probability of H and A union B. So you show that working. If it is okay, then they are independent. If they are not equal, then they are not going to be independent. So you must have seen that they are not equal. Therefore, these two events, they are not independent. And you have to mention that as a comment at the end, okay? There's one more thing that is asked, that can be asked, that if the events X and Y are mutually exclusive. So the events are mutually exclusive if the probability of X and Y that is equal to 0. So these two events, they are neither independent nor they are mutually exclusive. Okay, let's move on to the third question here. Okay, so please read the question and try it. Okay, in this question, it says two machines A and B produce metal rods of a certain type. The length and meters of 19 rods from both. So this is, the total is 19 here, okay, from A and from B. So we are given the key that this 22.7 means 0.227 meters from machine A and from machine B. So we have to find the median and the interquartile range for machine A. Now, when you have to find this median, remember this is just like an ungrouped data, like the the raw data we have. So the median, you have your n as 19. So you find n plus 1 over 2, that is 19 plus 1 over 2, that is going to be 10. So that means the median is going to be the 10th observation. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is your median. This is the median, okay? So the median is going to be, this is called Q2, okay? That is going to be 0.238 meters. That is your median, okay? I'm writing this on the side because I'll be needing this for the next parts, okay? Then the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Guys, see, there were 19 observations, okay? So this 10th observation was in the middle of this data. So that means you have 9 observations here and 9 observations here. 9 of them are here, 9 of them are here, okay? So the median of these first 9 values, here, this will be your lower quartile. And the median of the last 9 values here, that will be your upper quartile. Okay. So now you do that 9 plus 1 over 2 and you get that as 5. Okay. So the fifth value from the first 9 values, that will be your lower quartile. Yeah. Total values are 19, but we have two halves. First 9, the last 9, and in the middle you have the median. So if you find the median of the first 9 values, that will be your lower quartile. Okay, so that is at the 5th place. This is 1, 2, 3. Remember, you have to go in this order, okay, because you can see 0, 3. This is going in ascending order. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your 5th value here. So this is your lower quartile. So your Q1 is going to be 0.231. And then your upper quartile. Okay, upper quartile is the median of the last 9 values. Okay, so it is the median here. So I am going to start counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your upper quartile. That is Q3, 0.245 meters. This is meters. And we're required to find the interquartile range. Okay. So the interquartile range. Now, many a times this happens, the students just find the upper and the lower quartile and they just forget that what was required. So he was asking for the interquartile range. So you have to subtract them. 0.245 minus 0.231 is 0.014. That is the interquartile range. Okay, let me write the lower quartile as 0.231, the upper quartile is 0.245. This starts from 0.220, this ends at 0.254. This is your A, and your B starts at 0.211, ends at 0.256. Okay, so let's go on to the second part. Okay, now here is a question where you will be required to draw the box and whisker plots. Okay, so you just read the statement. What does it say in this question? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So basically, to draw a box and whisker plot, you need five kinds of information. You need to know the lowest value, you need to know the largest value, you need to know the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Okay. So now we have all this information with us. Okay. So you first of all, you need to draw a line at the bottom where you will be showing your scale. Okay. So I have a line here. So you please start drawing it anywhere. So this is the line here, and see how many values you have to show. You have to have a scale. Let me consider this as 220 rather than 0.220. Okay. So I have to go for A, I have to go from 220 to 254. So these are hardly 35 values. Okay. And for this B, I have to go from 210 to 260. So these are around 650 values. And so let's have a scale for 50. So if I start this from 0.200 here, maybe, okay, 0.200, this is my 0.210, this is 0.220, this is 0.230, this is 0.240, this is 0.250, and this is going to be point here 0.260. So yes, we can have all of them here. So now, and this is a really a nice scale here because there are 10 small divisions and they are showing 10 values here. So let's start. The A starts from 0.220. Okay, 0.220. So here is 0.220, and this goes up to, I mean, the lower quartile is at 0.231. So I go up to this. This is my first whisker. Then the upper quartile is at 0.245. This is 0.245 here. And this ends at 0.254. This is 2.54. Okay? Yes. So these are the whiskers for the A. And now I have to draw the box here from the lower quartile to upper quartile. So this is the box. Okay. And then I have to show the median here, which is at 0.238. 0.238 is here. So guys, this is your box and whisker plot for A. Okay. This is for A. Now let's draw this for B. Now B starts from 0.211. 0.211. So here is 0.211. Okay, and its lower quartile is at 0.224. 0.224 is here. Okay. Its upper quartile is 0.243. 0.243 is here. And its last value is 256. Here it is 256. Okay, and now I have to draw the box. So box can easily be drawn here. So guys, please, you have to follow these instructions. These are really the bonus marks for you people. And then you have to show the median at 0.232. And the median is 0.232. So here is the median, 0.232. So this is the box and whisker plot for the B. Okay. This is really a nice looking diagram. Okay, now let's see what is there at the end of this question. It says, hence make two comparisons between the machine A and B. Okay, two comparisons between the machine A and B. So, while making comparisons, you can discuss the range. Okay, you can discuss the medians. You can discuss the interquartile range. You can see if there is any outlier or not. So these things can be discussed here. Okay, so which of these two machines are making the longer rods? The longer rods. That is A, because A's median is greater. A's median is greater. Which of these two machines have greater range? B, because you see there's a greater range of these. And you can also discuss the skewness. Which data looks like more symmetrical where there is no skewness? A. A looks to be like, evenly poised data, because, this median looks to be right in the middle of this box. And the box B here, this is showing a positively skewed data because there are more values over here as compared to this. Okay. So there are so many things I have told you. You can write any two of these. Okay. Can I go to the next question? Okay. So I have to clear all of this. I wonder what are the people sitting on online, what are they doing? Okay, question number 4, you read it thoroughly and then we do it together. Okay, it says trees in the radian forest are classified as tall, medium, or short. The heights can be modeled. Now you see this is so nice. In fact, this normal distribution is always given that, fla is a normal distribution. So I would start by saying that let X is normally distributed with the mean 40 and the variance 12 square. We are given the standard deviation, but here you people, you give that variance, okay? So trees with height less than 25 are classified as short. So the short are the ones which have a height less than 25. He's asking for the probability. So I've already written that probability X is less than 25. So when everything is given, so your first step becomes you start by standardizing it. Okay. So here is the probability Z is less than 25 minus 40 over this 12. This is going to be phi of, what is minus 15 over 12? Minus 1.25. Okay. Now here are some basic rules, guys, that you need to remember all the time, that probability X is less than A. Please write them again. This is written as phi of A. Probability X is less than minus A is 1 minus phi of A. Probability X is greater than A is again 1 minus phi of A. Okay. And if you have probability X is greater than minus A, so that becomes phi of A. And if you have probability X is between A and B, so that is phi of B minus phi of A. So please remember these key points for this normal distribution. Okay. So this phi of minus 1.25 therefore becomes 1 minus phi of 1.25. So let's go to the table there. and see what do we have here. Phi of 1.25. So 1.25 is here. This is 0.8944. 0.8944. 0.8944. 1 minus 0.89, sorry, 0.8944. So what is this? 0.1056. Okay. Remember, you have to give your answer correct to three significant figures. So this has to be 0.106 eventually. That is the probability for a tree to be a short tree. Okay. Acha. Next it says, of the trees that are classified as tall or medium. So what is the probability for tall or medium? That would be this, Hannah. So this is 0.8944. Show that the probability that a randomly chosen tree is classified as tall is this. So tall is 1/3. 1/3 are tall. So please tell me what is 1/3 of this? Okay, 0.2981. One second. Let me erase all of this. Okay. So 1/3 of 0.8944 is 0.2981, and then correct to three significant figures, three decimal places. This is 298. This time three significant figures and three decimal places are same, otherwise they can be different as well. Okay, so we have shown that. Okay, next it says, find the height above which trees are classified as tall. They are classified as tall. So let's say there is a height k above which we have the tall trees. Okay. So again, it's the same normal distribution. What was its mean? 40, and its variance was 12 square. 12 square. So we have to find the value of k, and we know its probability is 0.2981. Now guys, whenever you find the phi of anything, this probability over here should be written correct to 4 decimal places. Okay, so now we have probability x is more than k. So what should be my next step? No, that is not required because it is greater than and this is less than. This is less than, yeah. But you have to standardize first. You have to standardize first, okay? So this would become probability z is more than k minus 40 over 12. That is equal to 0.2981, okay? And then this becomes 1 minus phi of k minus 40 over 12, that is 0.2981. So this phi of k minus 40 over 12, that is, what is 1 minus this? 1? Okay. So now we have to go to the table. This k minus 40 over 12 is phi inverse of 0.7019. I think it is 0.53. Yeah. So this k is equal to 12 into 0.53 plus 40. Please tell me, what do you get? Yeah, plus 40. It's 46.4 meters. Okay. So this much is the height above which the trees are going to be tall. Okay. Okay, next question. Here is the question number 5. Okay, a fair 3-sided spinner has sides numbered 1, 2, 3. A fair 5-sided spinner has sides numbered 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Both spinners are spun once. For each spinner, the number on the side on which it lands is noted. The random variable x is the larger of the two numbers if they are different, and their common value if they are same. And we have to show that the probability x equal to 3 is 7 over 15. Now, this is a situation where you should draw a table diagram so that all those possibilities they are in front of you. Okay, so you have 1, 2, and 3 from one of the spinners. The other spinner has 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. I'm not going to draw those lines. Okay, I have the privilege of having different colors here, so I'll be using the colors here. So if they are same, we write them, otherwise a bigger is noted. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, this is 1, 2, 3, this is 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and then you have 3, 3, 3. So this is your sample space in here. Okay, so how many are these? 5 from here, 3 from here, they are 15. So what is the probability that x equal to 3? That is, you can count the threes. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these are 7 out of 15. Okay, so we have shown that the probability x equal to 3, that is going to be 7 by 15. Okay, next part, draw the probability distribution table for x. Like you have the frequency distribution. Okay, so you can have this probability distribution here. You can have your x here. Okay, this is, you will write x here and you will write probability x equal to x. So what are the possible scores here? These can be 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so probability for 1 is going to be 2 by 15. And we already know the probability for x equal to 3, that is 7 by 15. So this has to be 6 by 15. Hai? Because the sum has to be 1. The sum has to be 1 here. Okay, the sum has to be 1. So we have got the probability distribution. Okay, next, what's next here? It's given so much space for this. It says find E of x. The formula for the E of x, that will be given in your formula sheet. Let me show you the formula here. Here is the formula. Guys, you must know that what formulas will be given to you. Okay, so here is the formula. You see, these are the formulas here given. Okay, the formula for E of x, the formula for the variance of x. But we used to write it as E of x is sigma x into the probability x equal to x. That is the formula we use for the E of x. And for the variance of x, we have sigma x square into the probability x equal to x and minus this E of x whole square. Okay, so going back to the paper. So we are given these formulas here. So let's use them to find E of x and then variance of x. Okay, so this E of x, guys, that is going to be 1 times 2 by 15 plus 2 times 6 by 15 plus 3 times 7 by 15. So we have 2 plus 12, 14 plus 21 is 35 over 15. That is 5 sevens are, 5 threes are. That is your E of x. And when you want to find the variance of x, guys, that is sigma x square into the probability x equal to x minus E of x whole square. So this will be 1 square into 2 by 15 plus 2 square into 6 by 15 plus 3 square into 7 by 15 and then minus this 7 by 3 whole square. So you have 2 plus 24 is 26 and 60 is 6. Is that 89 over 15? So what is your final answer? Please tell me. So this is the variance of this data. Okay. So I'll keep up to this. The remaining part we'll do in the next segment.